All right, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tearing down a massive myth, the myth of the flashy overnight tech entrepreneur. You probably actually know someone like the person we're going to talk about today, the secret millionaire next door. They never show off, they definitely don't have a viral personal brand, but whenever they need it, the cash is just there. They live a completely stress-free life. So what's their secret? Well, the data shows they skip the glamorous, high-risk tech startups entirely. Instead, they build massive wealth through incredibly ordinary, frankly, boring businesses. Today, we're digging into 20 forgotten businesses that are projected to generate serious wealth by 2026, simply by solving everyday problems.
Okay, let's dive right into this. 94.8%. That is the 5-year success rate of laundromats. I mean, just compare that to your typical Silicon Valley startup, where nearly half of them fail in that exact same time frame. Out of every 100 people who open a laundromat, nearly 95 are still happily cashing checks half a decade later. It's a $5 billion a year industry with 50% profit margins. And why? Because clothes get dirty on their own, and 90% of your customers are just going to keep coming back.
And that really hits on a profound truth. As the research behind Thomas Stanley's The Millionaire Next Door reminds us, true financial freedom doesn't come from chasing the latest social media trend. It comes from solving permanent, unsexy problems. Think about it. People will always need to wash their clothes, take out their trash, and park their cars. When you align your income with those inevitable, everyday human needs, you essentially build an empire that's immune to the whims of the internet economy.
So, let's get into category number 1, automated asset empires, or as I like to call it, making money while you sleep. These are high-value assets that do require a bit of upfront capital, but once they're rolling, they practically run themselves. Just look at the massive margins here. An automated car wash on a monthly membership model, that can pull in up to $200,000 in pure profit a year, rain or shine. Then you've got vending machines, especially the niche ones, like selling beauty products in salons or bait down at the fishing docks. Or, honestly, how about ice vending machines? They literally just freeze water. It costs about $35,000 to set up, usually pays for itself in under 18 months, and generates $40,000 a year. Throw in ATMs and laundromats, and you're looking at highly predictable, passive cash flow machines.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer scale of these boring industries. It's absolutely staggering. There are actually more self-storage units in the United States than McDonald's and Starbucks locations combined. Let that sink in. It's a $45 billion industry. And the magic here is really the customer profile. Your average customer pays $128 a month and stays for over a year. And get this, often they literally forget what they even have stored in there. But that autopay, it hits every single month. That is recurring revenue at its absolute finest.
Moving on to category number 2, low-cost service cash cows. These are the businesses you could literally start this weekend.
Look, if you don't have thousands of dollars lying around for a car wash, that data points to some incredible businesses you can start for less than $5,000. You absolutely do not need huge venture capital to win here. A solid pressure washer and some business cards cost almost nothing, but seasons change and driveways are always going to get dirty. Or take a pool cleaning route. With just 40 clients in states like Florida or Texas, you can net up to $120,000 a year, and you're only working half days. Or check out the notary public. If you happen to be bilingual, you can completely dominate the loan signing market, charging maybe $300 an appointment. 4 of those a day, you're looking at $1,200 daily, and you have zero physical inventory.
But here's the crucial point the sources make. You have to shift from an employee mindset to an owner mindset. Let's take landscaping as an example. Millions of people do it, but they stay trapped making maybe $40,000 a year. Why? Because they keep charging by the hour and they're out there pushing them over themselves. Real wealth is unlocked when you start systemizing the operations, hiring teams, and managing the commercial contracts. You have to stop being the one who mows and become the one who manages the people who mow. That right there is how a simple lawn route turns into a $500,000 asset.
All right, bringing us to number 3, the unsexy essentials. Dirty jobs, but incredibly clean profits. Now, I want you to picture these not as messy chores, but as premium, high-end, recession-proof assets. Think Wall Street level. Trash hauling and pest control. They run on automatic contract renewals because, well, trash and bugs are never going to stop existing. And look at scrap metal recycling. It's projected to be a $771 billion global market by 2032. Electronic waste is literally being called urban ore right now, filled with gold, silver, and copper. Then you've got parking lot striping, appliance repair, which, by the way, you can literally learn how to do on YouTube, and renting out portable restrooms for $175 a day. I know they aren't glamorous, but they absolutely print money.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the sheer simplicity of reaching almost six figures, $96,000. That is the potential yearly revenue for simply scooping pet waste for 100 clients. With over 90 million dog-owning households in the U.S., finding just 100 people willing to pay $20 a week so they don't have to clean their own yard, that is incredibly doable. All it takes is a scooper, some bags, and a willingness to just get out there and do the dirty work.
Which leads us to number 4, the ultimate hybrid, and specifically business number 20, wash and fold delivery. This right here brings us to the absolute pinnacle of the explainer. This model works so perfectly because it leans into the acquisition business framework outlined by Walker Deibel. His whole point is you don't need to invent the next big app. You just take an existing infrastructure, like a physical brick-and-mortar laundromat, and you bridge the gap to a busy customer. You add the ultimate modern value, which is convenience. And by doing that, you can comfortably take a 30 to 40% cut of the entire transaction.
So here is how this builds into just an incredible business loop. Step 1. You partner with an existing laundromat owner who has a bunch of idle machines during the work week. Step 2. You run the pickup and delivery logistics for local families. Step 3. You collect recurring weekly revenue. By managing just 100 clients paying $50 a week, you're generating up to $20,000 a month. And the best part? You don't own a single washer or dryer. You're purely operating the logistics and the customer service. It's brilliant!
All right, moving into our final section, number 5, the paralyzing trap of perfect. Let's talk about the employee versus the owner mindset.
So, we have the blueprints, right? But why do so many people look at these highly profitable businesses and then just fail to start? Well, it really comes down to human psychology. Think about this number for a second. $36,000. This is the exact amount a guy named Daniel wasted over 5 years on unused subscriptions and dining out. Now, Daniel makes a decent living, but he's completely paralyzed. He's been waiting for half a decade for the perfect, Instagram-worthy startup idea. He wants a slick personal brand, he wants a flashy tech company, and because he can't find that perfect idea, he does absolutely nothing. He wastes 36 grand, which, by the way, is exactly enough to buy a fully automated car wash or a fleet of 10 vending machines.
The contrast here is just incredibly stark. On one hand, we've got Daniel's hesitation. He's wasting money chasing an aesthetic, and he has zero actual assets to show for it. On the other hand, we have Alex. Alex didn't wait around for the perfect idea. He just bought a $3,500 pressure washer, pushed past his fear, and started knocking on doors in his neighborhood. No, it wasn't glamorous, but 3 years later, Alex has a team, he's got a fully equipped truck, and he bills over $180,000 a year. The takeaway here is huge. Boring businesses truly pay for exciting, secure lives.
And honestly, the timing for all of this couldn't be better. According to Small Business Administration data, 94% of small business owners are projecting growth by 2026. That is literally the highest number ever recorded. The sheer optimism in the market right now is staggering. The tools to systemize these boring businesses, like basic AI, route management software, automated billing, they are incredibly cheap right now. Plus, the demand for everyday services is completely massive. The playing field is wide open for you.
The reality is, the demand for these unsexy, everyday services is already here. People are always going to need their driveways cleaned, their plumbing fixed, and their trash removed. The question isn't whether or not these businesses work. We know they do. The real question is, how much longer are you going to wait?